This is Silver Charm, and he's my favorite horse. In fact, he might be my favorite living thing. People always say, what's the greatest day of your life? And people say, oh, the day I got married, or the day my children were born, or my grandchildren. And I used to say all that. But my favorite day now is the day that he arrived from Japan, December 1st, 2014. My name is Michael Blowen. I'm the president and founder of Old Friends Thoroughbred Retirement here in Georgetown, Kentucky. We're a retirement home for thoroughbreds. You know, once their racing and breeding careers are over, we like to give them a nice spot where they can just relax and live out their lives and have a little fun. Well, I think we have more stakes winners here than any farm in the history of horse racing. Our horses have won basically every major race in the United States. In fact, there's a whole bunch of stakes races that are now named after our horses, and we have some horses that actually won races named after some of our other horses. Who's the greatest horse in the history of the universe? I guess we should start off with my favorite horse, Silver Charm, who won the 1997 Kentucky Derby and the Preakness that year. You know, we also have the horse over here who beat him in the Belmont. So I don't know what they talk about at night, but I'm sure they're lying about their careers. For me, it's like having Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali in your backyard. Can I have my kiss? Thank you. All the ones that we have here that are really good are the ones that are really intelligent. They have superior intelligence. It's like watching LeBron James play basketball. You know, he's 3 steps ahead of everybody else. Yeah, I know. You're the best. Let's go over and see if Touch Gold will come see us. This is the horse who beat Silver Charm here. Belmont, ruined his Triple Crown. All these horses are so different. Pretty much when I was just betting on them, and I haven't stopped doing that, by the way. When I was just betting on them, they were numbers. You know, they had their saddle cloths, they were buyer speed figures. But then when you get up close to them and you spend a lot of time with them in a kind of relaxed atmosphere, you realize how they're all completely different. You're still feisty at 24, huh? Yeah. I don't expect you to be nice, just pretend to be nice. We live here, and at night, if I'm cooking in the yard or I'm doing anything in the yard, I have to come out and give him some carrots because he starts bossing me around. And of course, since I'm such a big fan of Silver Charm, I was never a big fan of him because I thought he ruined his Triple Crown. And without him, Silver Charm would have been a Triple Crown winner. But now that he's been here for a while, I really like him too. War Emblem was kind of like a juvenile delinquent, and a smart juvenile delinquent. Come on. He's so handsome. And again, he's very, very intelligent. He has the most amazing willpower. What? I know where you want him. I know. Nobody's coming to this farm to see you. He goes, they're all coming to see me. I won the Kentucky Derby. I won the Preakness. I really respect him. He commands a great deal of respect because he is so resolute. He's a phenomenal athlete. Another Shadwell horse down here. His name's Elderfur, and he won the Breeders' Cup Marathon, and he won't go anywhere without his pet goat. So when we took Elderfur, we had to take the goat too. We actually came with 2 goats, Yahoo and Google. Unfortunately, Google passed away, but Yahoo's still here guarding us. When I was a kid growing up, I thought it was stupid to think of horses as athletes, and if a Sports Illustrated came in with a horse on the cover, I tossed it away. I didn't start this, my whole love affair with racing because I loved the horses. I started it because I liked drinking and gambling. And then I apprenticed myself out to a trainer up at Suffolk Downs in Boston, and mornings I would go do stalls and walk hots and do all the kinds of grunt work that people do at the racetrack, but I learned an awful lot, and I thought it would improve my gambling and my handicapping. And then as soon as I went to work at the racetrack, I started falling in love with the horses as individuals. And then I was cooked. That was the end of it then. So when I retired, I said to my wife, Diane, who was a very good columnist at the Boston Globe, we lived right outside Harvard Square, Cambridge, I told her I wanted to move to Midway, Kentucky, population like 1,200. And she goes, what? I said, yeah. And I said, well, I got this idea. I want to try this out. And besides, if we don't like it, we can always come back because my son lives in Australia. We don't have any obligations. If we don't like it, after a year and a half, we'll come back. So she says, 20 minutes later, she goes, okay, I'll go with you, but only under one condition. And I said, what's that? And she goes, that when I leave you, you won't come looking for me. I said, okay, fine. She's still here though. You know, the great thing about it is I have no average days. Every day I wake up, it's different, except for the fact that I have to feed Little Silver Charm and go get the newspaper. Little Silver Charm over here, I've had him for 22 years. And I named him Little Silver Charm 22 years ago because, of course, Silver Charm was my favorite horse, and I never thought I'd end up with Silver Charm in my yard, too, or that they'd be friends. I had a trainer named Larita Lindemann, and one day she was up at Rockingham Park, and she heard some banging on a windowless truck, an airless truck, and she goes to the driver, what's in there? He goes, well, I got 2 ducks, a goat, and a little horse. She goes, you do? He goes, yeah. She goes, how much you want for them? He goes, $40. So she bought them all for $40. We left the 2 ducks on the pond at Rockingham. The goat got adopted by a thoroughbred up there, and then Little Silver Charm's been with us all these years. We think he's about 32 years old. He's the mascot. It's really funny because, of course, Bob Baffert won the Triple Crown with American Pharoah and just won the Derby with Justify. He had Silver Charm. But the funny thing is, if you Google Bob Baffert and Silver Charm now, you don't get a picture of Bob Baffert and Big Silver Charm. You get a picture of Bob Baffert with Little Silver Charm because it gets more hits. I don't know what Bob thinks of that, but I think it's hilarious. So here we are in the Old Friends Cemetery. I wish I had a magic wand that could ensure immortality, but I don't have it. And so we get pretty close to these horses, and so every Memorial Day we do a tribute to them, and everybody gets together and tells stories about them. And I think this year we lost 8 this year, so yeah, it's a sad part, but it's just part of the cycle. And pretty soon they teach you, and even in death, all of them are different. It's really interesting to see how they handle it. Precisionist is one of my favorites. He's the only one we have buried here whole. All the rest of them have been cremated. Precisionist is the last American racehorse to win a Grade 1 at 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, a mile 16th, a mile 1/8, and a mile 1/4. He's an unbelievable horse, and he was gorgeous. And when we got him, he had these sinus tumors. Every night I would go out there and I'd have a beer in my racing for him, and I'd bring him some carrots. And I'd hold my hand out, he'd eat the carrots. And one night I went out, and instead of eating the carrots, he looked right at the carrots, and he looked right at me, and he turned around, and he didn't eat one carrot, and he looked out the window, and I knew that was it. And we dug a big hole here. It took a long time to dig the big hole, and we buried him whole in there. So. Well, the word I used to hear all the time as I walked away from explaining to a trainer what we were trying to accomplish, this is before we had a farm or a horse or anything else, was I'd get about 10 yards away and I hear the one word I heard over and over again was idiot. Once we built it, and once they saw what we were doing, and once they saw the horses, the care that the horses were getting, now we get calls all the time from trainers. Bob Baffert's probably the top one. Not only does he come to the farm to visit and see all the horses that we have here that he trained, and also some of the others, but after American Pharoah won the Belmont, Bob gave us $50,000. I mean, he's contributed in so many ways, so he's become a great ambassador for us. You know, these horses have done everything for everybody, and most of them, I think, are beginning to appreciate their value once their racing and breeding career is over. In this period of my life, I can't imagine anything better than this. Why would I want to be anyplace else? I don't want to go anyplace else. I love this place. I was old enough to know that you have to be, if you want to accomplish something, that if you have a good idea, no matter how incompetent you are, as I was, and maybe still am, if you have a good idea, it's eventually going to work if you keep at it long enough. If you have a bad idea, no matter how hard you try, it's not going to work. So I always thought this was a good idea, and I'm really glad that certain things happened to me at a certain stage in life, and now that I'm older, and I can see the finish line, I think I have more in common with these horses, and I think we see we can see things a little in a very similar manner.